Hello everyone, welcome back to another Hall of Fame Bets YouTube live stream. Today we will be focused on the MLB portion of the app. Super exciting. Of course, NBA playoffs is now officially over, and in these summer months, our core sport offering is going to be MLB. So let's take a look, let's focus on some best practices and cook up some fire bets for tonight. As always, guys, as we go through this, feel free down below in the chat to drop some MLB plays you may have for tonight. We'll take a look through them. We'll see who's came with some heat, who's cooked, who do we want to tail, and maybe who we want to reconsider that bet or rework that bet. So yeah, let's jump into it without further ado. And let me just pull up, before we kind of get into it, just want to double check with you guys all. Audio is good, video quality is good. You can see everything on my screen. It's running smoothly. I always just want to double check that with you guys. And then we'll jump into things here too. So we're going to be researching using the leaderboards tool as well. I think I really love leaderboards, obviously for both NBA and MLB, but in particular, I love it for MLB. It's just really easy to come up with plays in quite a quick fashion here. So one of the props I was looking at for the day, I went to leaderboards. If we just go to 2024 here, we can take a look and see. I had scrolled down to Profar at minus 190. It's a C- grade, so not the worst grade, but not the strongest either. And from there, I clicked into his profile to find out some more information. So when going into Profar's information, we can see it's being offered at minus 195. He has been on fire this season, guys. Profar, I think, is batting 321 on the season. His best season yet. And he's on path to be an all-star, which is really fantastic at the age of 31. I believe he is. So he's hitting 76% of games this season. Very strong. And when we see in the last 10, he's hitting 7 of the last 9, including 5 consecutive games. Now, we don't have any data for him versus Rhea over the past 2 seasons. I believe when he's faced Rhea in his career, it's actually, I'm not sure they actually have faced off before. When we look at head-to-head against Milwaukee, though, he's hitting 3 of 4 games against Milwaukee, so done well as well against Milwaukee. Were these home games? Looks like one of them was at home. Majority were on the road, though. So this Profar prop is a batter prop I like for tonight. JT Bet says Nerfy for the White Sox-Tigers game, and for Red Sox game, parlayed together for plus 210. Can definitely take a look at that in a second here. JT, thank you for sharing. So this is one of the ones Profar that I thought was quite interesting for tonight. Let's go back over to the leaderboard section, and you know what? We can play around with some different stats here. I want to take a look at a bunch of different stats. I know home runs are quite popular. Let's take a look and see, let's take a look and see who could be a good candidate for a home run tonight. So we could potentially look at someone like Aaron Judge at plus 250 there. Or we could go more recent. We want to see top recent performers. I think Judge is a pretty good bet. Obviously one of the biggest sluggers in the MLB. But on top of that too, looks to be performing quite well recently. So let's take a look here at Judge. All right. I see Eche's here. Welcome, Eche, my guy. How are we doing, bro? How are we doing? He says, Bone, Profar, Witt, Chisholm are hits I'm considering. Yeah, let's take a look at those, right? We'll look at JT's after this Judge home run prop. We'll go to Eche, and then we will do some continue research. And guys, as you join, just drop your research down below or your bet for tonight down below, and we'll take a look at it and see what we think. So, Aaron Judge for a home run tonight, being offered at plus 310 on MGM. We see on the implied odds on the season, we have a positive edge here. That's plus 205. When we look at this in last season, still a positive edge as well, which is great to see. We want to see maybe in home games how it's performed, even a better edge at home. So Judge is playing at home tonight. This is really strong here. We want to see, has he faced Chris Sale in the past 2 seasons? He has not. So obviously right now we're limited to the past 2 seasons for pitchers. But again, sometimes extending beyond that, we get just players who are in a different realm in terms of maybe they were at a higher place in their career, a better spot in their career. So we don't want to dive maybe too far back, but it can be helpful to look a little bit into some of those past matchups. We could see, for example, Sale is a left-handed pitcher. So you want to see in games against lefties, how has Judge performed? Looks like, not as good against lefties, and this could be one of the insights the sportsbook is pulling their odds for. Looks like he's struggled more against left-handed pitchers when it comes to home runs. We could see against Atlanta how he's performed, though I think the starting pitcher is probably the most important one. And then finally, opponent rank. So Atlanta, an above-average team here. And we could see, you know, around 38% of games against an above-average team. So I think when we're considering, you know, how well Judge has been performing as of recent, I think this is an interesting prop, though I would say we do notice a bit of a trend in terms of him facing left-handed pitchers. But if you're looking for a home run prop for tonight, Aaron Judge could be an interesting one. So let's go over to JT. He has White Sox-Tigers game, and then the Red Sox Reds game. So if we go over to the stats page here, and we search in White Sox, let's take a look here, JT, and see what we're seeing for the White Sox. So we're gonna go first inning total runs. So and then we want to see who's on the mound tonight for the White Sox. Let me go back over. I'm gonna go to MLB. I'm gonna go to the parlay optimizer, and I want to check who's on the mound because this will definitely impact how we kind of look at things. So on the mound for the White Sox tonight is Fede. So we want to see, you know, for example, we want to see first inning runs. Like we want to see total runs. So with Fede on the mound. So it looks like, you know, this is hitting roughly 47% of games where they've tallied a run, though this could be runs that they've scored. I think this is one thing we're actually looking to improve on the platform, JT, is in fact the Nerfy statistic, because it would be great to see his runs allowed. Right now we have total runs, which could be runs that they've scored when they're hitting as well. But yeah, it looks like sitting around 47% of games, and then we could check, you know, of course, for let's see who's on. It's Flaherty for the Tigers. And then we'll see. We'll go to his total runs allowed, and it's with Flaherty that we want to look at this for. And we could see they've gone, you know, looks like it's been around 38% of games. Again, though, we want to be able to differentiate between their runs they scored and then also the runs that Flaherty himself has allowed. So that's where we may want to check the team versus the total. So we could see, you know, in 31% of team games, and then we could see versus the total. So it looks like, to be honest, a lot of those runs are being actually scored then by the Tigers when Flaherty's pitching, so it's not him allowing them. So I think this looks pretty solid. Like I said, I think we're coming with more in-depth Nerfy research and Yerfy research in the next few months. So, or I'd say probably weeks to months. So be prepared for that. Ache, let's take a look at your parlay now. We're gonna go over to the MLB PO. Yo, if anyone's just joining us, you got research, drop it down below in the live chat. If not, we'll cook too. I'm down to throw some fun things together as well. And you know, I did the research earlier today, so I have some heat for you guys. If I had to pick three, it'll be Bohm, Profar, and Witt. And Etche, what are you getting that for by the sportsbook, by the way? I'm just curious to hear about what the odds are for that. So let me actually, let's go back over here. Hits. He said, let me check. Okay, sounds good. So we want Witt, I believe, plays for Kansas City. That's the one thing with MLB. The number of players sometimes can be a little hard to keep track of where everyone's been at, especially with the number of trades and things of that. And then Chisholm, is he on the Phillies as well? I think no. Where is Chisholm at again? Let me see. Go back to leaderboards. Oh, Profar. Got it. He said Profar. Padre says JT. Thank you. Yeah, that was Profar. I thought I got confused there for a second. So yeah, I'm just gonna plug this in for the Padres now. With Profar. It's a 1+ hit. All right. So plugging this in, guys, we see this has hit in 44% of games this season at plus 125. This is being offered for plus 141. If we want to look back to a larger range of data, we see a negative edge there. But again, I think a lot of this has to do with some of these guys having really strong individual seasons. So if we want to look at the last 10, Bohm has hit in 8 of 9, Witt in 8 of 10, and Profar in 7 of 9, 55% of games this season, which is really good. We could take a look at head-to-head, which is hit in 2 of 3 for Witt, 3 of 4 for Profar. Bohm yet to face Philly this season. We could see in home games how this home and away this has performed. So a little bit more, a little bit more of a negative edge. But I think when we're looking at between, the recent data and then over the course of the season, this looks really solid. I think one thing also, guys, one tip I could give for you guys too, an additional piece of research that I typically will just check out, and something that we're probably looking to add here at Hall of Fame too, that can be helpful is called Swish Analytics. You can look at batter versus pitchers matchups. This is free as well, and this is just another additional nice that sometimes I'll add in there. So for example, we could see, and again, like I said, I think this is something that we'll be looking to add in the future too. Sometimes it can be risky to go this far back into data, but we could see, head to head how they perform. Looks like Bohm only has 1 plate appearance versus Montgomery. And then we could see Profar, no plate appearances versus Rhea. And then Witt, we could see he's done really well against Eovaldi, 4 hits and 9 plate appearances. So that's just another additional tip for those of you on the live stream that I thought I'd share as well. Something that I check out as an additional resource sometimes to supplement as well. So yeah. Anyways, that is a cool play there, Eche. Wishing you the best of luck and fingers crossed on that one. If anyone else has plays, drop them down below in the chat. If not, we will continue cooking and looking for some more fantastic plays. And one of the ways, or one of the places I want to look is at some pitcher props. I think pitcher props are a lot of fun. And again, I think this one is, we're focusing a little bit more on leaderboards. We can definitely hop into trends in a second too. But yeah, we see for pitcher props, if we go to this season, Chris Sale, 7+ strikeouts, is hit in 100. Is being offered at minus 155. Hit in 77% of games this season, which is great, which is really good. I think one of the ones that I liked was Flaherty for tonight, and if we bump him to 6, I really liked him at 6 at minus 195. Hit in 85% of games this season, and a couple of reasons for this. So let me click into his profile. First of all, he's playing the White Sox, guys. And if you're not aware, White Sox are one of the worst teams in the MLB currently. The White Sox are, on 20 wins this season? So really struggling. So we can see this is hit in, like I said, 85% of games this season. It's hit in 80% of home games, 4 of 5. And then we can see he actually cleared this line last time he faced the White Sox. So yeah, I think this is really solid here. I like this data a lot, and we could also see, against the worst teams in the league, how's he performed? Let's see one more, and we could even go to last season and see against the bottom teams how he's performed. In this case, doesn't look as good, but at plus 115, but I still feel like that's probably a better insight. And I think, again, we're looking at Flaherty's really had to step up this season. This is his best season in recent years. He's been very inconsistent throughout his career, but this year he's been very, very good. I think in the ERA in the mid-3s, maybe 3.01 actually. So I really like this Flaherty one, and I actually chose it to parlay with, if we go over to Cutter Crawford. This is another one I found on the Trends leaderboard. On the Hall of Fame Bets leaderboard. Link in the description to get 25% off your first month. Go check it out. It's super fire, as you guys can probably see right now. But yeah, this Crawford one I love. Cincinnati strike out a ton. Eche says, how funny, I was looking at these same 2 pitchers earlier. Eche, that means you got it. I mean, you got it right, my friend. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I think as you analyze more, as I analyze more, I think we start to find the trends that really look good And I think obviously you found that as well as someone who uses the platform a lot. So shout out to you for that, Eche. And yeah, it's always good for me to know too, like, hey, Eche found that, like someone else who knows the platform well, who knows how to research bets really well. That makes me feel confident in my picks too. So yeah, this is hidden again. 87% of games this season. Hasn't faced Cincinnati. Did he face them last season? Though again, Crawford's another pitcher. This is more of a breakout season for him. Looks like he went .2 innings against Cincinnati last season. So not really a great sample size to determine there. I wish they gave a bit more value on over 2.5 for safety net purposes, because with good these guys have been doing, basically you have to take it at the lines you're looking at. Yeah, that's a great point. That's a very good point, Eche. Yeah, it can be a little frustrating in that way. Let's see here against with Crawford. What else do we want? Opponent rank, kind of in that middle quartile. Really smashed it against these kind of average teams, so very consistent there. So I think, when we parlay these two together, I'm going to go over, guys, to anyone new here, the Parlay Optimizer, a super unique, powerful tool, allows you to calculate the probability of a parlay for both same-game parlays and across multiple games. Really cool, very difficult to do, and super beneficial for your parlay research. So like I said, link in the description, use the promo code to get 25% off your first month of Hall of Fame bets. But as we go through this, I'm going to go over here to, we of course want this game here with Flaherty for 6+ strikeouts. And then of course we want Crawford. If we go to the Boston game, Crawford for 5+. And we'll calculate and see what the Parlay Optimizer is saying on this. This was being offered at plus 122 earlier. And we see it's hitting 73% of their starts this season. Minus 275, a very strong positive edge there. If we want to look at home and away, hitting 80% of home and away games, fantastic. Head-to-head games, looks like Flaherty cleared this line earlier this season, which is great to see. And then opponent rank, right? Similar ranked opponents, has performed very well again. So I really like this bet for tonight, and I think another thing that made me confident, if I go back over to leaders, I'll go to teams, right? That could be a little bug there. Let's see. Go to teams. There it goes. I think it was just a loading issue. So we go to teams, and then we go to, let's go to, do we want batting? Yes, team batting. We want team strikeouts. So you want to see in games, right? Let's go descending. The top teams that strike out, and we see, of course, the White Sox are 13th, so they're in the top half of the league for strikeouts. And then we see the Reds are 7th, so they're in the top 10 for strikeouts. So both teams in the top half of the league for strikeouts, meaning they're, higher strikeout teams. Thus, 2 overs looks really good for them. So that's kind of a rundown of a parlay for tonight at plus 122. Would love to get your guys' thoughts on that. Also, kind of diving deeper into this too, I'd love to pull up one other. This is now kind of shifting over to a long shot. Guys, as always, during the chat or during the stream, feel free to drop your props down below in the live chat. Would love to know what you guys are cooking up and take a look at some of the heat that you guys have put together here. But would also love to kind of show you guys a little bit more of a potential long shot for tonight too. Obviously, personally, my betting strategy, I focus on props first, building my bankroll. And then from there, from building my bankroll with props, I then, play safer parlays. And then from there, if there's still bankroll left over, that's profit, you then put that into these fun, larger parlays, that are just a little bit more fun. Obviously, it's great to hit them. It's possible, but still can be interesting. So, one that we looked at, if we go over here, let's pull it up. We had, we go to the Royals game. Brady Singer for 6+ strikeouts. And then we added Rhea. Oops, That's for the Brewers game. I got to add another leg there. And then we added Rhea. So let's go. Add game. Brewers. Rhea. And what did we have for Rhea? It was 5+. Okay. So this parlay has hit in 18% of games this season, plus 445, right? However, it was being offered this morning for plus 1100. That's some fantastic value right there, guys. Obviously, again, it's still a more risky play. Only an 18% chance of hitting based on previous data. So, again, take that with it. Take that, like if you're betting on this, please be smart, be mindful. 18% chance, still quite low, right? A 1 in 5 chance that it occurs. However, if we look at the head-to-head, some good head-to-head data here. Singer went over in his start against Texas earlier this season, while Rhea went over his start against San Diego last season. So I really kind of liking the head-to-head there, if I do say so. So yeah, I think, between the value and some strong head-to-head performances, again, really liking this as a potential lotto play for tonight's game. So yeah, just a different option. Like, I want to give you guys a bunch of different, quite a few different plays for tonight. Be able to check out different options, see what we can be working with here. So yeah, that I think that's an interesting one, and fingers crossed, maybe we could see something good come from that one for tonight. I believe that most of these games are going to be starting around 6:40 p.m. Eastern. So we'll research for about 8 to 10 more minutes. At 6:30, we'll probably call it a night and send you guys on your way. But yeah, if anyone else is joining us, feel free to check out the link in the description for Hall of Fame bets. For all this wonderful research, use the promo code 5OFF to get 25% off your first month. And then also, if you guys have any plays that you're looking at for tonight, drop them down below in the live chat. We'll be happy to take a look at them and see what you guys are cooking up. Let's go over to the trends now. We've done a lot of research on leaderboards. We've played around with the parlay optimizer, with the stats. One thing we haven't touched yet is the trend. So we may want to see, props that have hit in like 70% of games this season. Ooh. Yeah, we may want to see props that have hit perhaps in like 70% of games this season. So if we go over here, looks like their trend's having some loading issues. Give me 1 second. Try it one more time. So yeah, we go to hit rate. Yeah, there's definitely an issue there. Gotta have to let the team know about that. So we'll pop back over to leaders. So yeah, let's see here. Playing today, I want to take a look at maybe some total bases. I know this is a very popular one. I feel like sometimes, guys, with total bases, overs are very popular. But I think unders can sometimes be the way to play it, depending on the matchup and things like that. However, we'll see what it's giving us tonight. Ohtani facing the Angels is a very interesting one. I think that could be cool. I think we're looking at Seager. I really like Seager, a B matchup grade, minus 105. Let's dive in a little bit more into the Seager one. Again, at minus 105, could have some value here. So we're going to go Seager for total bases. We want 2+ total bases. So this is hit. Looks like Seager's been on a little bit of a cold spell recently. So perhaps may want to avoid that. I'm going to go back over to leaders, and we'll pop over to the last 10 to see who's been hot, who's consistent too. Looks like Quan has really been very consistent, though it is a bad matchup grade. Lewis maybe, though he's played very few games. How about Reynolds? How consistent has Reynolds been this season? Not very consistent, right? Hot as of late. Still 45% though, being offered at minus 105. We can dig a little deeper into Reynolds and see what we're working with here with him. So yeah, with Reynolds, total bases, we go to 2+. So when we look at the last 10 games, really strong. 8 of the last 10 games. We want to see in home games how it's performed, around 50%. So definitely bats a lot better at home. We could see against right-handed starter pitchers, kind of similar. Has he faced this starter? No, he has not in the past 2 seasons. We could see against Tampa Bay. Hasn't faced Tampa Bay this year, but hit in 2 or 3 games against them last season. Last thing, maybe opponent rank below average team, hit in 50% of games. I think you're getting roughly pretty even value here. I wouldn't say we're getting a steal, we're getting an amazing play, but if we're rocking off some recent performances, and then the last thing I'll check here is just Swish, just to see for some of the batter versus pitcher stuff, what we could be rocking with. So if we go to Swish, and then we go to see with Reynolds, only 1 at bat or 2 plate appearances, 1 at bat, 1 walk, 1 strikeout in his past against Ryan. So yeah, I don't think that's a large enough sample size to determine too much. So, I think this is pretty solid. I think one of the things I really like is at home. It seems like there's a somewhat significant increase there. It seems like he definitely does bat better at home. So Reynolds could be an interesting one. We'll hop back over to leaders again. What about someone like Tatis? Ohtani, let's see. More favorable. Maybe Ozuna with a B+ matchup. Let's take a look at Ozuna now. So if we go over to Ozuna, and then we go total bases, 2+. Looks like this is hitting 2, 4, 6 of the last 10 games. Though only 2 of the last 5. If we see in away games, has hit in 46% of away games. Faces New York tonight. Hasn't faced New York this season. How about the starting pitcher? Nope. How about New York last season? Perhaps. Hit in all 3 games against the Yankees last season. Was that on the road as well when he played the Yankees? Let's see. Yankees. No, those were home games. But Ozuna batting even better than he did last season. Against left-handed starters, has hit in 48% of games. So, again, pretty comparable value. It could be interesting to parlay like Reynolds 2+ total bases, Ozuna 2+ total bases, and maybe we could see kind of what that gives us in the parlay optimizer. I don't think you would be getting a steal for value, but you'd probably be getting roughly what the sportsbook are offering. So let's do that quickly, and then we'll probably wrap it up there. So we're going to go, because I know these games are starting really soon. So we have Reynolds, total bases, 2+. And then we have our friend from Atlanta. Shout out the ATL. Ozuna's just having a really good year, and a year where someone like where some of the other players on the Braves have kind of struggled a little bit. Ozuna's been fantastic. So we see, I'm going to plug this into FanDuel really quickly, guys. So let's see if we go to, so this is hit in 21% of games, or implied probability of 21%, plus 375. If we look at the last 10, 48%. So again, 2 pretty hot batters for the most part here. I'm going to go to MLB. I'm going to plug this in real quick. This is on FanDuel. I know this is probably the most popular sportsbook, or the most used one. So if we go 2+ total bases for Reynolds, and then let's see for Ozuna. Perfect. So we're going to go batter props for Ozuna. So this is being offered at plus 320. So relatively comparable there. We have a slight negative edge. How about when we consider home and away? Even more comparable. Head-to-head, we go back to the past 2 seasons. Quite strong head-to-head data. And then the last 10's been solid too. So if we look at kind of the hand of the pitcher, it's pretty comparable to what it normally is. So again, I think this is pretty solid. I think there's maybe, based on the recent performances that have been good, some head-to-head data, a slight, we're probably having a little edge in value in terms of some decent value. I wouldn't say we're smashing the sports books, we're destroying them with this one, but it looks like a pretty solid bet considering the odds, which the odds are saying there's a 21% chance with some of the head-to-head. with some of the last 10 data, maybe we could say there's a 30% chance of this occurring, or a little bit more likely than what we're getting. So again, 30% chance or 20% chance, whatever you want to put that at 21%, what the parlay optimizer is saying. But when considering some of these other factors, maybe we say, I feel like it's closer to a 30% chance. So there's some value, but again, we have to take that with, obviously understanding we're still at more likely to lose than win here. So anyways, guys, I want to wrap it up there. Thank you all for tuning in to our first MLB live stream. Planning to have these weekly. Hey, if you have any friends that are into betting research MLB, hey, tell them to come check out the stream. Tell them to come say what's up. I think this is a lot of fun. It's great research. Shout out to JT and Eche for sharing some cool props and parlays for tonight. And anyways, guys, we will wrap it up there. Check out Hall of Fame Bets, link in the description to do all your betting research. That's the tools that we were using tonight to come up with these fire bets. And yeah, have a great night, everyone. Best of luck with your bets, and take it easy. Peace.